Good morning, ladies and gents. Welcome back to the YouTube channel. Welcome back to another full day of eating / day in the life / taking you around and filming what I think is minorly interesting. So today we've got Push on the cards at Ultraflex Rotherham as usual. Pre-workout meal going in. It's currently a little bit later than usual. Usually train really early in the morning, but today I'm training at like 11:30ish, should get there. So it's now 2 hours before pre-workout meal going in. This is a pretty hefty one. I think you've seen it before. 75 grams of oats. What we got? Whey. I usually go for the Perform carrot cake, but I've ran out, so we've got vanilla cream. It's decent. It's nice as a shake, but not as good in oats, I'll be honest. Milk, about 200 mils, but if I'm honest, I don't really weigh that, because if I end up with soggy porridge, I know that I've gone too much. And then some frozen fruit. Finishing off with 2 bagels, but I've only got 1, so that's a stinker. And jam. Very nice. This meal is quite hefty. It's a pretty hefty meal, but that being said, the reason being is I quite like a big pre-workout meal. And also, if I don't have this meal big, I end up having to eat loads post-gym. And personally, a lot of the time my appetite is quite small after training, at least until later on. So pretty hefty meal this. I think it's about 1,200 calories and like, I don't know, quite a lot of carbs. But it's nice, so I like it. This is the whey, if anyone's interested. It's nice in a shake. Maybe not on top of oats, but not bad. So my tactics when it comes to nutrition are very, very simple. If it's too complicated, it makes it harder to stay adherent. So personally, I try to make it as simple and as efficient as possible whilst actually tasting nice. So an example of that is this breakfast is like super quick to make. Put the oats in a bowl, milk, put it in the microwave. Sometimes I use a pan, to be fair. I do think pan oats taste better than microwave oats, but if I'm really being time efficient, put it in the microwave. I used to like heat the frozen fruit, but now I just chuck it in and mix it in and it freezes in the oats. So it literally takes me about 2 minutes to make. You'll see on the next meals, again, it's like trying to be as efficient as possible, which I'll show you when we get there. But first, I'm gonna eat this oats and whey paste, not mixed in. I prefer it on top because it's like a little icing sugar type thing. Sort of, not really to be honest, but tastes decent. So I'll eat this, then we're off to Rotherham to train Push. So I'm pretty sure I've done this session recently on a YouTube, so you've probably like seen most of it already. But if you've not, starting off with 3 sets of a lateral raise, just a dumbbell lateral raise. Now I'm on to potentially my favourite press in the game. So we've got 3 sets here actually of a cable press. If you can get onto like a Cybex cable stack, it's gonna be a bit of a game changer, because it's got an arm. You can see here it's got like an arm behind it that allows you to push up a bench against it. It means that you can like really standardize how the setup is, but if not, like a normal close cable stack is just as good. Then also we're using, you might not be able to see that, we're using like daisy chains, so that I can put the handle on a daisy chain and I don't have to like really force myself into it. So 3 sets here, really good movement if you like can't connect with your chest very well. It's converging, it aligns nicely, you can move your hands where you want it to go. The only issue is it's not like a fixed path of motion, which has its positives but also has its negatives. It means that it can be a little bit unstable, but once you run it for a few weeks, it's pretty awesome. So something I've been opting for a little bit more recently, sort of in the past few months on my pressing, slightly more tucked elbow positioning. Reason being, if you tuck your elbow, you can get more range of motion. Just try it now. Go with a flared elbow, see how like far back you can get your hand. Now tucked elbow, you'll notice you can get quite a lot deeper. Secondly, if you combine that with like breathing through your press, if you take a big breath in as you're going down on the eccentric, you actually can expand your chest as you're going through that press, and therefore start to use your rib cage as like a bit of an anchor for your pec to actually wrap around, giving it a little bit more leverage to move your upper arm. hence more pec. So give it a go, slightly more tucked elbow positioning. Still like with some converging. You should find that you can actually feel your chest quite a lot more. Oh yeah. So that's 3 sets boxed off on the seated cable press. That's like my favourite chest movement, so hence why I do 3 sets. I just feel like I get a lot out of it, at least on pec, compared to other presses. Like, I struggle to connect with my chest, so I might as well run up the exercise that I can actually connect with. Now we've got 1 set of this, so 4 sets pressing total, and then obviously I do 4 sets pressing in my upper session as well. So it's only 8 sets across the week at the minute. I'm hoping that I'll be able to drive that up a little bit, but at the minute, like, my recovery isn't good enough to do more. So I'm going to try and make a few tweaks to recovery, hopefully get that improved, so that I can do a bit more volume, recover from it, get stronger from it. Oh. 8.5. Still improvement. Okay, so we've now got 3 sets, might be 2, I need to check, on this prime lateral raise. Now, we've already done a lateral, so if you really want to like condense your session, make sure there's no sort of redundancy. Just do 1 lateral. Choose one that you like that's got like a good resistance profile. A dumbbell lateral raise isn't the best because it's like really heavy up here and then nothing at the bottom. So choose an exercise like a machine lateral raise or that Atlantis that's there. I'll show you. That Atlantis lateral raise, you could do something like that as well. So choose a lateral that you get on with a good profile, and then just run that up for however much volume you need. But I like to have about 5 sets total volume lateral raises. I just split mine up into a dumbbell and a machine. To be honest, I could just do a machine, but it's a bit more fun, so let's go for the both. So just finishing off now with a little bit of tricep work. Leo is, what are you 9 weeks out now? 10 weeks out from his first show at hashtag digging. To be fair, his food is actually really low. I think we're going to go into posing room after this to kind of check out the rig and see where he's at. His food on rest day is like 1,300, so he's digging pretty hard. I think at the minute, like, managing it quite well. So we'll have a look how he's looking. Send it over to Ryan. And yeah, overhead triceps finish. And I'll see you back at home for meal 2. Sort of like meal 3 because meal 1 was kind of a combined. Anyway, meal 2 back at home. Just returned back to the gaff, pleasantly surprised. So I'm fairly certain this is, that didn't work. I'm fairly certain this is a stock up of these, but I ordered quite a lot for a few clients, a few people that just wanted one. If you do want one, drop me a message. Let's see what we've got. Yeah. That is awesome. We've recently changed the t-shirts up a bit to go embroidered on the logo. Just I think it looks quite a lot better. So we've got a few more of these blueies. Got some grey hoodies, or what they call jumpers, and also some grey hoodies. A few black ones in there. I think there's about 20, 25. So if you ordered one, they'll be coming. They'll be en route. That is the nice one. Yeah. Bash, right. Meal number 2 en route. Like I said before, I'm not going to the dark. Like I said before, efficiency is key. So, meal 2 is rice with beef and taco seasoning. I'll put some clips on now on how I do it, but it's really quick because I put the rice in either a rice cooker or in a pan, depending on how much effort I want to put in. Essentially, bit of salt in there. Pop it into the pan, the beef. Make sure it's nice and hot. It cooks in like 5 minutes. Taco seasoning mix, and then get just some frozen vegetables. Which actually, if you didn't know, frozen veg tends to hold more nutritious value than fresh. So just whack them in with the beef. Bosh, you're done. A little bit of Nando's sauce. Awesome. Okay guys, so food now for the rest of the day is really just about like making it fairly evenly spread, and then not pushing my food too late pre-bed so that I'm not like really full going to bed. Because food's like, it's not that high, but it's decently high on training days, 3,400 calories-ish. I'll actually add it up at the end maybe. So yeah, I just like to spread out my food. I've actually gone for pasta rather than rice in this meal too. I'll happily like make changes to my meal plan if I fancy it. It's the same amount of rice as same amount of pasta as rice because it just adds up the same. Sometimes I'll have wraps, sometimes I'll have well, that's kind of the main three. But yeah, meal 2 is 150 grams of some sort of carb source, pasta, rice. Sometimes I'll have potatoes as well, to be fair. But obviously you need more grammage to equal the same amount of carbs. So 150 grams of pasta, 200 and let me actually check this. 150 grams of pasta, 200 grams of 5% fat mince, 100 grams of mixed veg, and 30 grams of light mayo. But I go for the Nando's mayo because it tastes nicer. Pretty much the same calories. 46 calories in 15 grams. Light mayo's, what? I don't know, but you get the gist. It's pretty much the same. Okay, so meal number 2, final form. I don't know why I was saying I was going to have mayo with pasta. Like, that's just weird. I usually have mayo when it's rice and beef taco, and beef with taco seasoning. But today, pasta. So final form is 930 calories, 57 grams of protein, 128 grams of carbs, 21 fat. Meal 1, I didn't tell you what that was, but it was 1,132 calories, 64 protein, 194 carb, and 12 fat. So fairly heavily like front loading the meals. The next 2 meals are a little bit smaller. The final one is like significantly smaller. So I'll take you through that when I get there. But first of all, I'm going to scran this, then we're into a little bit of work. Hello chap, how are you doing? Welcome to your check-in. Good evening feet, hope you're doing well. Welcome to your check-in. Welcome to another week, really good week this week. Good afternoon chap, how are you doing? And welcome to your check-in. One thing I really like to do is I'll track throughout the day until my final meal, making sure I'm getting protein in each and every meal. Then on my final meal, I'll have a look, what have I got left? And usually I'll have about 300 to 400 calories left. Potentially might have like 20 grams of protein to get in, and a certain amount of carbs and fats. Then all I do is put together some sort of yogurt bowl. It's always got yogurt in to bump up the protein. Then the carbohydrates usually comes from some sort of fruit, and then the fats usually comes from some sort of peanut butter or dark chocolate. And that's like my top-up meal to fill up my calories, to fill up my macros, and therefore hit my goals at the end of the day. So, right, meal numero 3, work block number 1 ended up merging into number 2, ended up merging into number 3. Usually I'll work in blocks of, depending on the day to be honest, sometimes it's like 45 minutes, 15 minutes off. Today I just ended up blasting through it. So, on to meal number 3. We've got the same beef as earlier, but this time I'm not going to be putting the beef into pasta sauce, because remember, the aim of the game here is efficiency. So I've already cooked the beef, that's still there. Now I can have beef with rice without the tomato sauce. It will take me about 2 minutes to put the rice on, then I've just got to wait and go do some work while I'm doing the rice, and then all I need to do is heat the beef up. Okay, I've changed my mind. I usually have rice in this meal, but I didn't fancy cooking rice because it takes too long. So instead, I'm going to be having, I need to double check this, but I'm pretty sure if I have 2 wraps, that'll be 360 calories. I feel like I need about 500 calories of rice. 2 secs, let me check. Okay, so I'm meant to be having 150 grams of rice, which ends up being roughly, well not roughly, pretty much exactly, 525 calories. Now, in one of these wraps, there is 100, where are we? There's 180 calories, so 360 in 2 wraps, which leaves me 525 minus 360, 165 calories extra. Plus, remember, earlier on, I didn't have that bagel that I was meant to have in my meal one. So, gonna have to be inventive here. I'll get back to you. Okay, so Bosch. I found another pack of wraps, which means I don't have to faff about. Pretty much equals exactly 150 grams of rice, maybe about 10 calories over. So now I can have 3 wraps, 200 grams of beef, 100 grams of mixed veg, roughly, because I've cooked it all in one, and 30 grams of Nando's Péronaise. Awesome. Right, gonna make this. Hopefully it's nice. If you're not toasting your wraps, it's a game changer. Listen to the crisp. That is awesome. Extra flavour. Maillard reaction, I think it's called. Basically equals tasty. Bosch. Absolute results. Apologies if the camera and audio quality is terrible because I'm filming on my phone, but I just got Halo Top ice cream, or whatever the equivalent is, 4 yogurts, bagels. What else have I got? Something else for £2.50 because I've used like some sort of vouchers or something. As does the goat for real. Right then, ladies and gents, just got back from Asda, have you just seen. Picked up a few bits. I needed to get some Greek yogurt, but they only had the Fage yogurt and it was like a £5, so I didn't fancy spending £5. So instead I got these Arla blueberry protein ones, and also a strawberry version. Then I also picked up, because they came in a deal of 4, these look pretty awesome, banoffee pie Lindor one and a lemon cheesecake one. So I'm going to have one of these today, and hopefully it's quite nice. The only thing with these, all of these 4, is that often people get like some digestive issues with them because they're quite like, they've got quite a lot of additives. They're going to have some sweeteners in, etc. So just be careful if you do have if you do get some digestive issues. It's probably not the move. And then I broke. I didn't break. It's sort of fine. Rather than having one bagel and jam, I'm going to have some of this. What is it? Oppo double chocolate brownie ice cream. It's low calorie ice cream, so I'm going to give that a go. See what it's like. Yeah, I mean, could have a bagel, could have jam. Would it be slightly better potentially? But fancy some ice cream. Anyway, that's the video done and dusted. Let me know if you enjoyed it. Let me know if you want to see other full day of eatings. I do change around my nutrition quite a lot depending on like what I fancy on the day. So if you like this video, like, subscribe. If you want to see something else, drop it in the comments, and I will see you in the next one. Ciao.